Hey, everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News. And this is a special podcast for the Cloud Communications Alliance, CCA, and TR Publications. And I'm very pleased to have with me today Dave Dadds, CEO of VanillaIP and Uboss. Dave, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. Thanks for the invite.
Well, we're in the run-up to the CCA European Summit for 2025. It'll be happening June 16 to 17 in Brussels, Belgium. And this is going to be a special summit with very timely content about things that really matter to the cloud communications community. Dave, you're going to be on a panel. We'll be talking about that in just a second. But first, Tell me a little bit about VanillaIP.
So VanillaIP, we've been around for some 15 plus years now. Originally, we was we still are. We have a BroadSoft service provider, and we've run through with that for all the way through basically. But really, the change for us was 2010, 2012, when we took the decision to start building out the platform that we now know as Uboss, which is basically our cloud enablement platform that we sell both to our own partners and to other BroadSoft service providers around the world to manage everything around their BroadSoft, but also almost just as importantly, any third-party service that we have integrated in. So whether it's the obvious ones like Webex, but whether things like a CCA, we're just doing the Microsoft 365 integrations so that people are able to package up their VoIP service along with 365 licensing. But the whole thing is around about following the market and hopefully leading the market in some areas in making the whole adoption of cloud services simple. A lot of it around self-service as well, of course. And with the advent of the web and the way that more and more services are moving towards self-service purchase from the websites, following that as well. So things like Sales Ledger and things like Stripe integration, all the things that are needed. So it keeps us all busy with our guys and girls that we have that are building the product sets out.
So, Dave, just in a few weeks, you're going to be on a panel at the summit, CCA Summit, European SMBs digital transformation maturity level and AI adoption. It's a bit of a mouthful, but maybe we should break this down to. So you're in the place to know. So first of all, European SMB digital transformation maturity. So how would you gauge that? Are they along the path in European SMBs?
I think it's interesting because obviously the industry is always 5 years ahead of the customers. But that said, I mean, obviously some customers are early adopters, and I think the change in the environment since COVID and the work from home or work from anywhere type phenomenon that we've got has forced companies to look at their technology more than they might have otherwise done. I mean, we know collaboration has gone through the roof and has proved to be a very, very popular application and service. But there's also a lot of other things and services that people are taking to actually allow themselves to take advantage of the environment that we now work in and that whole digital environment. So yes, the people have definitely moved along. There's still, and if we look at the different industry stats that we see, different markets have got different levels of penetration of what we would, I think, sort of call traditional, now almost traditional VoIP, which cloud-based VoIP. But I think the interesting challenge is adding the value and adding these additional services that are coming in or that have been there. We've had things like contact center as a service and that for some time. But obviously, this move towards AI, which I think almost it feels to us as a slight middle step, is the whole thing around sentiment and transcription, for example, is one that has picked up and certainly has got some real interest in the market, not just by industry but by the end users. Quite how people monetize it, productize it is obviously just that's ongoing. But I think you can see some real opportunities within that, within those products. But AI just adds a whole extra level onto that.
And we were talking just before we started our podcast today. You feel that AI is an accessible opportunity. Companies can actually go and find things to sell that are relevant.
Yeah, well, I think the interest with AI is, if you look at us when we first sort of built our original Uboss, you're going out and you're sort of building everything. And we bought, apart from our integrations with the likes of BroadSoft, one of the early products that we built in was call recording. And there was, we had to do all of that really pretty much from the ground up. But obviously, when with the AI, because you've got some of the big players in there that have already built all the smarts, the AWSs of the world, the ability to interconnect and start utilizing those services and producing products and services off the back of it, I think it speeds up the development cycle. I think the other interesting thing, it gives you global reach almost by day one because of the way they operate. So it's an interesting phenomenon that we're seeing, really, the way that the ability to bring in multiple services from multiple third parties and present them as a single service. And I mean, we're by no means unique in doing that. But I think the great thing is, yes, it means that it's accessible from us as a service, as a software development company, which then we can make available to our partners and they can make available to their customers a lot quicker. And very, I think the one thing is we all recognise in the market, and I think it's an interesting challenge for a lot of service providers and a lot of resellers. It's can you differentiate your products? Because the trouble is, if everyone's going out selling exactly the same product, as we know, the price becomes the main differentiator, which is not ideal. So I think this growth of products and services lends itself very well to the mid-size, smaller mid-size service provider type companies, because they are able to customize the services, maybe pick on particular sectors like legal and stuff like that, or healthcare, and then bring products in that actually tick the box and deliver services that those particular vertical types are looking for. So it feels to me, VoIP 1.0 was the old dial tone, which is now table stakes, as the US say. This now feels to me that we're sort of going to cloud 3.0, and voice is a part of that, but it is just a part.
So Dave, that's a very interesting concept. I've been working with CCA from, I don't want to say from the very beginning of cloud communications, but it felt that way, over a dozen years ago. Now you're saying already we've moved on to something you're calling Cloud 3.0. What is that? Well,
I think the move, VoIP voice is it's everywhere. I mean, not everyone's moved to it yet, but it's as I say, it's table stakes. People expect it to be there. I think with the whole advent of the different communication channels that we've seen emerge, obviously collaboration being a big one, obviously we mentioned, but chat, email, and the way that those communication channels are brought into business, and we've obviously got contact center as a service. But if you look at what businesses are doing, it's all about how efficient can we be in our working environment? How well can we collaborate with our fellow employees and our external customers? So the whole CRM piece comes into play. The whole ticketing system comes into play. Once you're putting AI across all of those sort of services, what does that mean? How much more efficient can you be? So it's really it's the combination of all elements that make up the communication platforms that we recognise today. And I say we're nowhere near fully commercializing that, but I think over the next 2 to 3 years we'll see some real rapid advancements in it. So that's what we sort of loosely talk about as Cloud 3.0 ourselves.
And that's sort of one of I guess the big takeaway message you have for us today, and also maybe at the summit is, you said it's repeatedly, voice communications over cloud or VoIP. That's great, but that's not where you're going to find the growth or the profit.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the good news for anyone that is in the VoIP market, though, is VoIP is a few dollars, and when we see some of these other areas of systems, they're tens of dollars. So, I think the opportunity for revenue will, for many people, will grow. But that market is also very competitive, as we know, with the big and the small guys in there. But I think, we're VanillaIP, we're very bullish about what's happening and where it's leading, and we look forward to obviously participating in the panel and furthering out discussions at the summit, but also going into this next year, seeing where we can get to with it all.
Dave, I'm really looking forward to being able to see that summit, see your panel, learn more. Where can we learn, first of all, more about VanillaIP?
Well, if you go to the VanillaIP website, VanillaIP.com, from there we've got our Doc360 sites, which are referenced on there, where we've got all the VanillaIP and Uboss documentation. We've also got the YouTube VanillaIP YouTube channel, where there's various videos on that as well. And it's also traditional phone numbers and email addresses to contact us and chat with us. We're very happy to talk to people and tell them more about our products and services.
And there's a second website that you also have for us to check out.
Yeah, well, that's a direct model that we do a lot of testing with, and you will see up there recently our beta launch of the try now, buy now link, which will enable resellers to enable their websites by just dropping in the templates and then using the back end of the Uboss to deliver their packages and services in real time around with phone numbers. So that's a sort of a phase one development. There's going to be quite a lot of additional functionality and services added into that as we go through. But people are welcome to visit that and have a look and see what we're doing there. Yes, but we're very pleased to talk to people at both the summit and via normal communication channels.
Well, everybody, Dave Dad's, you can only see him at the summit. That's the best way to find out more. You can see cloudcommunications.com/EU-summit-2025. Also, if you just go to cloudcommunications.com, all the information about the summit is right there. A very exclusive event. I think they're only letting 75 people attend, so you should click on it soon and find out more. Dave, thank you very much for joining me today. This has been really interesting.
Thank you, Doug. Nice talking.